Well, today has been a day. Ambushed Apostate has made it to Memphis, so that part of the move is done. Now comes the more simultaneously pressing yet debatably easier stuff, insofar as his dog Ozzy. The dog needs to be boarded. For the duration while we work out the financials for the place to stay. And the thing is, our friend Ozzy, who I would love to pull up a picture of right now, but half my stuff's in chaos because I just got back from helping Seth with a bunch of stuff, and he and I taking care of some things on my end as well. I'll tell you about those in a second. Ozzy's going to need to get current on some shots and the like, and boarding costs. That's going to be a couple hundred in its own right that our friend needs. So yeah, as always, any donations to the GoFundMe or especially to Seth's Cash app. Seth, if you want to put your cash tag in there, that'd be freaking awesome because I don't have it handy at the moment. Any way you can help will be awesome. Do it for the doggo. Do it for the doggo. Right. That being said, let me clear my throat real quick, Hovind. Actually, Seth, you're in the chat with a Kilted Camera. It's funny. I need to bring out the MacBook that he sent me, so you can just see the funniness of like, this is the stuff with the atheist community. We help each other out. They're horrible people just helping each other out like that. Here you go. Here's a MacBook with a broken screen. Have fun. Ozzy is Seth's dog, Bruce Wayne. Seth's doggo. Shit, you know what? Let me pull up it's gonna make the preamble way too long. I should have planned the picture ahead of time. But anyway, yeah, Seth's doggo. Remember, he's been staying with Seth while he's been, van living for the past while. So yeah. But all right. Dang it. What was I gonna do? Right, we were going to do Hovind Watch. Sorry, I am very tired. Seth made it in, and we began to put his stuff in his storage unit. Wasn't super crazy, but no, the stickers are fine, Kilted. The weather was a little rough, so it took its toll on us, and I wasn't quite feeling good today. Then we had the awesome chance to go by my storage units, which I have not seen for 3 years. Very, very dusty, and a few boxes seem to have collapsed from the weight of what's on top of them, so that might be a little iffy, but my stuff is in okay shape. So it has been very, very nice and very reassuring to see my old life still stable. 3 years in storage, plus in some case for some stuff. Yeah. But all right. We're going to get to Hovind. God, I am so cooked from the weather. Oof. I didn't realize how rough it was. He apparently did an 1.5 hour long stream while Seth and I were at my storage unit. This dinosaurs, gods, and blah, 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 blah. Random on the Random Christian show, spelled with a K. Stream 14 episode 6, so they restream that. It's whatever. We aren't going to watch that now. That's a marathon at 1.5 hours. We're going to watch Hovind's open mic from last night. Evolution is dumb and dangerous, as he always says. The only thing dumb and dangerous here is Hovind. So we're going to watch that. Bear with me because I'm far more exhausted than I realized I would be starting this. So let's get to it.
Good evening, folks. Ken Hovind here and the crew at Dinosaur Adventureland in Lenox, Alabama. It is
the, ban evading crew at Dinosaur Adventureland, I should add.
August the 21st, 2025. Tonight, open mic. You quite atheists, skeptics, or just Christians got a question? We'll try to answer if we can. I've been studying the Bible for 56 years. There's a whole lot of it I still don't know, but I'll tell you what I do know. And we're going to have open mic. I do know that evolution is the dumbest and most dangerous religion in the history of the world. Never been a dumber idea than to teach the kids you're related to a tomato and you all came from a rock, which came from a dot of nothing exploding out of nowhere. That's dumb. Joseph, is there a kinder word to say dumb, stupid, idiotic? If you want to believe that, fine, but don't call it science. You're polluting good science with your stupid religion of evolution. Call in, prove me wrong. Okay, a couple things. You had a question up there, Joseph. I wanted to start with that. I thought, here we go. Hang on, we're on a bunch of channels first. Let's see, on Facebook, on Rumble. Now, Brighton only has the archives of the videos about Kent Hovind is innocent, stuff like that. About my case where they put me in jail for no reason. Okay. Let's see.
Brighteon, you fucking moron. Brighteon.
So go there if you want to watch all that stuff. We're on TikTok.
Yes, those unwatchable ass videos. Absolutely unfucking watchable. Garbage.
App, Kent Hovind TV, and Instagram and X and all them stuff. Sign up for all of them. They're free. We'll pay for it. And if they take us off of one, you get us on something else. Okay. Push one of them buttons and something. So like our channel, subscribe, all that kind of stuff. And if you want to support us, go to our 777 Club. Go to drdino.com. Say, I like what you're doing. I'm going to help support you. This crab, brother, this has been the guy donated the world's largest horseshoe crab. Up in
World's largest horseshoe crab model. Fucker.
Ohio. We took it apart in a bunch of pieces and brought it down.
And we also went to the Ark Encounter protest. Oh, wait, we didn't because we're all chicken shit. But supposedly Joseph drove by and took a photo, Hovind.
Josh, you've been working on it like hard. It was a great blessing to get the crab. And Ben, thank you so much. But what does that cost us so far to put it together, transport it here?
Here we go, the begging.
Fiberglass it, and now paint it. Probably 10,000. Yeah. So.
Wow. Great investment. Good job.
It's cool, but nothing like free.
Jesper, just been doing usual basic grind stuff, playing around with other elite specs. I haven't done the elite spec beta, because it was acting crazy for everybody. Just been kind of going with the flow and just enjoying Tyria and being pissed that I've lost all my materials to those goddamned fuck. What are those guys? Season of the Four Winds, the event boxes, and all those ectos gone, and all I got was some lousy skins I already had. No good infusions, no anything special. I'm a little bummed.
So it's going to be really cool when we get it done. Come see the Noah's Ark we're building. Boot camp's coming up here soon. If you want to come to that, we'd love to have you. Coming up next Friday, okay? Let's see, get our series on creation series. This one's by far the best seller, and $50 for 18-hour seminars on creation versus evolution. We believe the Bible is true. Evolution is dumb, real dumb, worse than dumb, dangerous. Get a series on what's going to happen. Okay.
Hey, good thing nobody gives a fuck what you believe, Hovind. You believe a lot of stupid shit.
I want to go to slide number, let's see, 2. Enter. Oh, no, here. The peppered moth. Okay, first though, Joseph, what was that question you had? I thought that was an interesting one. And if you want to call in or send a question in, please do.
Okay, you know what? We're going to take a second away from the Hovind. I'm going to share a different tab. There's a photo taken just a bit ago before I started streaming. Behold, Seth, he's a giant. Me, and there's Ozzy. So, if y'all wanna help the doggy, you definitely do that because the doggy needs help. All the help. Also, I need to clean my phone camera lens, but that's the rear facing, so I don't really care. But yeah, there's the doggo. There's Ozzy. All right, back to Hovind. Hovind.
I was wondering if you ever heard of or would consider covering the Bronze Age collapse in a scriptural perspective. As you know, it appears to have happened around the time of the Exodus. Okay, Todd, good question. Let me give you the Hovind perspective here.
Billy bringing up a good point. Seems like every number with Hovind, everything costs $10,000. Well, their own TV show only costs $6,000 a year. Hovind.
There's no such thing as a Bronze Age. Okay.
Yeah, there is.
No such thing. The Bible teaches God made Adam about 6,000 years ago, and the people before the flood lived to be 900 years old. Adam came fully formed from the hand of God, a fully loaded computer. He could walk, talk, name the animals, and get married first day. So then he could walk with God for probably 100 years and learn a bunch more stuff. And then he lived for 930 years. How much could you learn in 930 years? He spoke every language in the world. There's only one, but he spoke it, okay? And
fucking idiot. God, I hate this guy.
so it was just a different world back then. I think man was way far ahead of what we are today back in those days. They're finding all kinds of strange things about these giant megalithics.
Unexpected kittens are always a gift. That's why I've got Alucard and Cormier. Yeah, that's the name I've settled on. Joanna is now Alucard. And Laura is saying, wait, I thought you had long hair? I used to have long hair. Then genetics came.
Structures. We couldn't build them today. You can't move a 70-ton stone 450 feet off the ground.
Hey, Kent. Cranes. Yeah, you ever seen a crane before?
How did they do it? I don't know. They knew something. So I think the whole idea that there was a Stone Age and then a Bronze Age and then an Iron Age is absolutely stupid. Okay, no such thing. I think after
There's a $5 super chat from Tubian for the doggy and the mess with Hovind. Every little bit helps. If it doesn't come in now, it comes in later. It's all, y'all are all awesome. Did I mention that today? Y'all are awesome.
flood, they get off the ark and they come into a devastated world. You got to start over. How many saw the movie Castaway? Tom Hanks, you see that one? The guy was extremely intelligent. Now he's stuck on an island with nothing. So what do? You make stone tools to get started. You got to cut the tree down to get the firewood to cook your supper. So you don't have an iron tool. So it may take a while to rebuild after a disaster like that. And so there might be a Stone Age is not an indication that people were stupid or primitive. They just lacked the either the resources to do it or were just in a hurry to cook supper. So I totally disagree with all this business about saying, oh, man used to be ancient and ancient man used to be stupid, like a monkey. And he slowly learned how to chip away at tools.
That is honestly horrible. People have been roughly the same intelligence since long. Homo sapiens have generally all been the same potential intelligence. Thing is, we're existing on 300,000 years, and especially the last 10,000 years of technological progress. So that makes us seem smarter than our forebears, but they could think just as well. If you brought someone from 50,000 years ago to today's world, they could learn how to operate things. They wouldn't know our language. There'd be a lot of things they don't understand that we take for granted, but they could figure stuff out just as well as we could because the brains were effectively the same. The thing is, we have hindsight. We have foreknowledge of this stuff. They didn't. So we are standing on the shoulders of titans, as I always love to say. Not just giants, but outright titans. The generations that came before us and figured out so many great things.
No, that's dumb. They were far advanced compared to us today. They knew things we don't.
No, they really weren't. They were just using basic primitive tools, as we call them, because that was the best they could do with what was available. They hadn't had the opportunity to develop things further. That's how this stuff works. That's absolutely fine.
Even know yet. That's my Hovind theory on that. So I think I disagree that there ever was a Stone Age. There are people today making stone tools. Aren't there cultures around the world today that kind of live what you would call the Stone Age? Some of these tribes in places where they don't have. Then it takes a while to find the iron ore, to get it out of the ground, to smelt it down, to make an iron tool. Meanwhile,
yeah, that's why you start with simpler metals first.
Your wife is screaming, "Hey, where's the firewood for supper?" So you get a stone axe, chop down the tree. So
Kent, we've all played Minecraft. All right, if you knew anything about anything, you'd understand that everyone knows the technology tree thanks to Minecraft. We get it.
I think the whole idea that man was dumb and we're getting smarter is really backwards. Really backwards. I don't believe it at all.
Well, you're an example of getting dumber.
Convince me I'm wrong. Okay, what else?
Check this one out. I invited him to come in and talk to you about it.
Young Earth is also a lie. Well, David, that's
good job, David. Also, I'm so fucking sick and tired of hearing Joseph in the background. It's just, God, it's annoying.
A religious statement you're making. I can give you plenty of evidence, but that is absolutely correct. I use the illustration. Here's a Bic ink pen.
Oh, God, here we go with the fucking pen.
I told you this Bic pen was 5,000 years old. You could say, Hovind, it's a ballpoint. The ballpoints weren't invented till 1888. Oh, that one fact proves my...
I swear, I want to make a Minecraft mod that just replaces the villager audio samples with Hovind sounds and just torment people.
claim is wrong, right? Then you could say it's got plastic. It's made of plastic, and plastics weren't invented until 1907. Well, that's another claim that proves another fact that proves my claim wrong. You could say it's made by Bic, and Bic wasn't even a company until 1946. Well, you just got three facts that prove my claim of 5,000 years is wrong. You want to claim the Earth is billions of years old. I cover on video number 1 all kinds of scientific ways to show this Earth cannot be billions.
You know, I'd be feeling logic myself, but read whichever one you want to. Color theory is equally interesting.
Of years old. The moon is getting farther away from the Earth every day. It's leaving us. Well, that means it used to be closer. Run the math on it. I show all the facts on seminar part 1. 1.2 billion years is the max for the Earth-Moon orbit. 1.2.
Except it's not.
Why are we telling the kids it's 4.6 billion years old? It's not possible. Forget the Bible, forget everything else.
Because the world is 4.5 billion years, and the moon is a good chunk not a good chunk younger, but it's younger. It's, you know, we understand how it formed.
Just the moon is screaming at us, it's not 4.6. Get a new theory. The Earth is spinning, but the Earth is slowing down 1,000th of a second every day. Google leap second. We have a leap second about every year and a half because they have to add a second to the clock because the Earth is slowing down.
No, it's because the calendar isn't correct. It's not because it's slowing down, Kent. I don't know why this didn't click with me before. It's not because it's slowing down. It's because our calendars fucking suck. And when we define the second and we define what days are, we kind of screwed the pooch a bit.
Well, it means it used to be going faster. Well, that puts a time limit.
And yes, it did used to spin faster, but again, not the way you're thinking. That didn't change how you think it did.
And how old it can be. The oceans are filling in with sediments. The continents are eroding flat. The oceans are getting saltier.
Hovind's brain is disintegrating at an alarming rate, so it couldn't be 72 years old. Hovind.
Today, they're 3.6% salt. They could have done that in less than 5,000 years. From totally
Today, Hovind is 9% salt.
fresh water during Noah's flood to now 3.6% salt water. Okay. Well, if it's billions of years old, why aren't the oceans like the Dead Sea or the Salton Sea or Salt Lake? 30% salt or 35%. There are lots of scientific ways without the Bible to prove the Earth is not billions of years old. You may believe what you want, whoever that was, I forgot the name there. Believe whatever you want, and you will believe what you want, okay? And I know you need billions of years to turn your frog to a prince. I completely understand why you guys are frantic over this age of the Earth thing. But I'm sorry, you can't have billions of years. Get a theory that does not include billions of years, matches the science, and you'll be more in line, I think. Okay, who else was that just came up? Was that Deborah? Oh, okay. Thought it was Deborah in Kentucky that, thank you, Deborah. Watching the series is a must. Well, thank you. I agree. I think so too. There's another Deborah in Kentucky. Husband died a few months ago, and we went up there and stayed there on the way to go get the crab.
I was trying to make her wife number 5, but she wasn't interested, but she will be. Hey, she knows her soul's at stake. I'm going to tell her God needs me to be her to be wife number 5, because that's what good cult leaders do. Hovind Koresh.
And Deborah, so thank you for watching us and for loving our ministry. I appreciate it. And sorry about the husband. Read Isaiah 57:1. That's a great comfort. If your husband
Sorry about the husband. This is so fucking blasé.
was a Christian and died, Isaiah 57:1 is a great comfort. Oh, my back. Okay. Let's see. What's that? Oh, you got there. What do you believe, son?
Jason, do you even Hovind? Good God, all they're doing is getting him started on the same old shit. Watch his videos. You get everything you need to know. If you've watched his seminars, you don't need to watch him. Why do people even watch Hovind? Like, if they're fans of his and they have his DVDs, why do you even watch him? Because he just says the same shit. Nothing new. Ever.
Pre-trib rapture. It's not true. I used to believe it. See, I got my chart behind me, the big one, and here's the smaller version of the same thing. Jesus, or the creation was about 6,000 years ago. Here's the flood 4,400 years ago, 2400 BC. Here's Jesus came. Here we are today, this little yellow stripe. We greatly expanded that yellow stripe up here to represent the 7-year period called the tribulation. There are two totally different events that you got to keep track of: tribulation and wrath. Tribulation is what the world does to us. Jesus said in the book of John, you will have tribulation. Christians are having it all over the world right now. Okay, there's tribulation going on. Christians are being killed right now in Ethiopia. Okay, tribulation is what.
Okay, Kent. Sounds like they should get out of Ethiopia then. If they won't leave, that's their problem. I ain't feeling sorry for them. Get the fuck over it. It's like that guy who went to North Sentinel Island. He fucking deserved it.
What the world does to us. Wrath is what God does to the world. The Bible says we're not appointed unto wrath. When I was writing my book on the topic and my video series on, post-trib, pre-wrath rapture, people would say, hey, Hovind, what are you doing? God said we're not appointed unto wrath. Yeah? Think what you just said. We're not appointed unto what? Wrath. That's not the tribulation. Don't confuse the two. The wrath comes in the day of the Lord. If you read, I got all the verses on here and on the chart about the day of, and in my book. The day of the Lord is 1,000 years long. That's this part down here, the day of the Lord. I chopped out, let's say, 231 feet to make it fit on my chart here. I don't want to have a chart 231 feet long. But this day of the Lord, 1,000 years, is great. Okay, at this scale at the top one. The wrath of God falls in the first almost 3 years. And the only evidence I have for that number is Daniel was asked, how long is the temple going to be desolate? Daniel chapter 8, verse 14. Daniel said, how long will the temple be desolate? And he said, 2,300 days. So that goes from the time it's desolated in the middle, past the end of the tribulation, for another 1,040 days.
Oh my God. Who the hell cares? But remember, it's not a death cult. It's not a doomsday cult. Even though he's got charts all about this shit.
Almost 3 years. So there's a time of wrath, which falls in the day of the Lord. There's also a time of great blessing. Most of it's a time of great blessing in the day of the Lord. So I searched it while I was in prison. I had plenty of time. I searched the scriptures.
In between leading men to Jesus, if you know what I mean.
My brain hurt. I got it right, Joseph. I think.
Doesn't take much to make your brain hurt.
You think so? Yeah, you read that book?
Yes, sir,
I read it 5 times. I preached at Roland Rasmussen's church in California, Canoga Park. He said, Brother Hovind, would you read my book on the post-trib, pre-wrath rapture? I said, well, I don't believe that, but sure, I'll read the book. And then he took me off to prison. I had the book sent in. I read it 5 times. I searched everything.
It took me that long to actually be able to realize I was reading it correctly. For the first time reading, I had the book upside down. I had to have someone help me learn how to read. Literate Hovind. I don't know, I'm trying.
I realized this whole idea of a pre-trib rapture started in 1830 with a 15-year-old girl that had a dream in Scotland about the pre-trib rapture, and Darby and Schofield ran with it. And many Christians are going to fall away.
And your whole damn religion probably started with some woman who cheated on her soon-to-be husband and made up an incredible story about it. But,
When they get disappointed. Because they were waiting for the rapture. Oh, it could happen in a moment, in a twinkling of an eye. Soon and very soon, I'm going to see the king. I love the songs. They're not scriptural. We're here.
I mean, if you're in Memphis, it's pretty easy to go see the king. At least where he's buried. Hey, Seth, you want to go see Elvis? We can go see Elvis sometime.
For the tribulation. I suspect it's already started. It starts with the 7-year period of tribulation. Starts when they make a treaty to rebuild the temple. Doesn't say when they start building the temple, when they make a treaty. That's in Daniel 9:27. That in the middle of that week, that 7-year period, they break the treaty. At the end of Matthew, Mark, and Luke, Matthew 24, Jesus' disciples said, Lord, when are you coming and what's the sign?
Oh, you'll know. You'll know. Laura with a lovely $4.99 super chat. Hovind is more dangerous than evolution could ever be. Facts.
Mark 13, Lord, when are you coming and what's the sign? Luke 21, Lord, when are you coming and what's the sign?
Boy, these guys don't understand how to do their jobs, do they? I mean, you can tell, all right? You can tell.
He talks about the tribulation time in the blue part. Then he talks about the desolation in the green part here. The temple is desolated. I agree. Then he talks about more tribulation, the great tribulation. And then at the end of the passage, he says, guys, I'm coming back after the tribulation when the sun and the moon go dark. When are you coming? What's the sign? After the tribulation when the sun and the moon go dark. I don't know how I missed it for 40 years of my Christian life, but I got it now. Okay? Prove me wrong.
Yeah, and Azumi brings up the rituals behind particular katana forging and the like. Absolutely incredible. Japanese culture's pretty fucking amazing.
We are not here for the wrath of God. We are here for the tribulation. Okay. Go ahead, brother. Next one.
Creation is crybaby, man.
Crybaby. Very nice.
Yeah.
Okay. Let me guess. We finally got him converted.
Let me guess. Hovind finally dropped dead. Oh, wait, he didn't.
No?
Well, I'm studying Zen Buddhism. Does that count?
Counts for something to somebody somewhere, but not to me.
Okay.
I'm a bigoted piece of shit who doesn't accept any other religions. If you're another religion, it doesn't fucking matter. All around.
Kent, there's the creationist claim that there was human shoe prints found in a slab with trilobite fossils.
I hate to interrupt Big Bad Mom. This is a good point. Jesper saying funny. Hovind have as a book and poster for who was buried and maybe died, but a lot of stories of killing and death. But evolution's a death cult. Exactly.
And you've heard this claim, of course, right?
I think many have been found, not just one, but go ahead.
Okay. Well, the one in particular was found in 1968 in Utah. And the trouble with it is that the so-called sandal print is just a mechanical weathering feature called spalling. And it's well explained by
Oh, shut up, Kent.
Right, it's well explained.
The actual scientist is talking.
By erosion. And so, that's evidence given by creationists that humans lived with ancient creatures. And, the other one that's been debunked is the Paluxy.
Take one at a time.
You can go ahead. Yeah, sure.
One at a time. Okay. I don't think that's correct that it's been debunked. But if it is, that's only one. And that still doesn't prove the trilobites lived millions of years ago. You called it ancient creatures. Trilobites are very complex. If this is...
Your arbitrary definitions on what's complex and what not is absolutely irrelevant.
One of the first creatures to evolve.
They were not one of the first creatures to evolve. They're just an example of stuff from the Cambrian explosion, which is quite the interesting event in and of itself, certainly. But life had been going around for a good couple of billion years before that, buddy.
Problem, because this
that
thing
wasn't
is
one
way
of the first creatures.
Okay, when did trilobites live? In your religion of evolution, when did trilobites live?
In the Cambrian, some 500 and so million years ago. But the first life appeared 4 billion years ago.
Your claim is that
seeing Crybaby dunking on Hovind like this is just always the best.
Among the first life forms. Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. In the Cambrian era, down here 400 million years ago, the trilobites, there they are, trilobites. This is the geologic column, the Bible for the atheist right here, okay? Got to get this square, okay. I think it's baloney. I think creatures would be sorted based upon where they live. Do these type of creatures with the hard shells that can roll up, do they live at the bottom of the ocean now? We just got the world's largest horseshoe crab donated to us. Yeah, I think they live in the ocean.
Yeah, trilobites don't live anymore. They're extinct, but...
You're sure of that? How can you possibly know such a thing?
You'd have to show me an example of a currently living... you might show me an isopod or something that lives nowadays, but it's not a trilobite. It doesn't have the same features, the same eyes, and complex eyes and that kind of
really
thing.
Especially the fact that trilobites are effectively 3 lobes. That's kind of the key thing. Trilobites, that trilateral symmetry they got going on.
Complex eyes, yeah.
Right.
And if you believe nobody designed the trilobite with its compound, I think they have 10,000 eyeballs altogether, a compound eye, lenses collect.
No, they just have a complicated lens system going into standard eye assortments. They don't have 10,000 eyes, Kent.
Light for the brain. If you think nobody made that, you're welcome to believe that, but don't call it science. That's a religious belief that something this complex can happen by chance. You can't possibly prove such a thing, can you?
We have a good idea looking at currently living organisms of how the eye probably evolved. We have organisms now that just have light sensitive cells, and that's their only form of sight.
And I hold it.
So-called
Right, but
sight.
think about your logic here. You want to line up living organisms that have from simple to complex eyes,
Right.
and therefore that proves how they evolved in history. That would fall apart in there. I could line up vehicles like unicycle, bicycle, tricycle, four-wheeler, six-wheeler.
That is a potential path of evolution that we see. It's not for
science.
certain.
Right. It's not science.
Oh,
It's an imagination. It's a belief.
Looking at current
Yeah, Seth is right about 200 feet that away.
organisms is science, and we can
I
compare
love
it
that.
with what's fossilized in the fossil record. I know that's getting off on another topic. Can I bring up, did you have anything more? So the trilobite was in place, and then there was a spalling feature on top that was then interpreted as a sandal print, even though there was no other sandal prints in a line from that point. So it was misinterpreted by creationists.
I don't know that that's true.
Intentionally misinterpreted by creationists, I should add, but Big Bad Mama is very good in this by not claiming intentionality with the deception. Careful not to poison the well.
True, but even if it's true, it still doesn't have offer any help for evolution. You guys, you want to talk about if that's something being promoted and is wrong. What about gill slits on the embryo being promoted now for 150 years after it was proven wrong? Are you at all concerned about that? Why are you just concerned about picking on creation and their evidence? We're not asking for ours to be taught in the school system.
Which is irrelevant to the truth of anything. You want your theology to take over all of government, all of society. So we're going to fight that.
You guys want to demand that we all pay for your religion to be taught. I think you should be concerned about the faulty evidence you guys use.
Except there is none, Kent, and when falsehoods have come up, they've been discovered and brought to light by scientists, by professionals, by the scientific community. Not fuckers with fraudulent degrees living in bumfuck Alabama running cult compounds and preying on children.
Well, I mean, we've addressed certain things like Piltdown Man and Nebraska Man were debunked by scientists, not by creationists.
Sorry to jump ahead of you, Big Bad Mama / CC. Yeah, sorry for the nature of reactions, but at least we both think the same way. Don't you love that when you say the same thing that someone else is going to say as a response, and it's like, oh, we're thinking along the same lines. Awesome. It's cool.
So we are addressing. So scientists are addressing those things. Yeah, go ahead.
Think what you made a dichotomy between scientists and creationists. Are you saying a creationist cannot be a scientist and a scientist cannot be a creationist? Is that your stand?
It depends on the study of science, I would say. So I wouldn't say that a creationist could be a paleontologist, for example, or a biologist or a geneticist.
They would certainly have to compartmentalize their religious beliefs if they were to go into those fields. Otherwise, their religious beliefs would conflict with the actual science, and they would be forced by their religious doctrine to reject the actual facts being presented.
Now,
they're not allowed to be. Are you the one that decides who?
They could be, but they're starting with a faulty premise based on the Bible. So they're already starting with their conclusion and working backwards.
The Bible, the ultimate faulty premise.
And you are starting with a faulty premise. You're starting with the premise that life can start from non-living material and animals can produce something other than their own kind as offspring.
The theory of evolution started as a bottom-up collecting of evidence, observations, testing to build a hypothesis and a theory. It wasn't starting with a conclusion like you have from the Bible and then trying to fit evidence to it. Does that make sense?
Was indeed. You've already started with the idea there is no God designing all this. The earth is billions of years old. Life can start from non-living material. Matter can come from
You're way off base on that, Kent. But again, that's not stuff we started with. That's what we figured the fuck out. We didn't start with a book that says something and just believe it and look for stuff that says that. We looked at the world, looked at the universe, and figured out how this shit actually is. You've got it completely ass backwards.
nothing. You've already started with all kinds of premises. And you believe by faith that animals can somehow produce something other than their kind. A bacteria, slowly, over billions of generations, where nobody could see it, way in the past, turned into a whale. I think there's quite a few differences between a bacteria and a whale. Why would you call that science? Do you believe this chart should be in our public school textbook?
Deviant, you bring up guns at DAL. Seth has now held... God, that would sound weird. Seth has now held my firearm. He has seen it. He thinks it's pretty awesome. So, I'm proud of my gun. It's metal, and it's dark, and if I hug it the right way, bad people go away. The American dream.
It is, by the way. You think, on the other side, I'm breaking my neck here. Do you think
That
this is
chart
legitimate
is-
science?
That chart is highly simplistic.
Which means it's perfect for Hovind. He should be able to figure it out easy. He's simple. Look at that look on his face. Like he's just pissed. Oh, actually, this will make a perfect thumbnail if I ever remember to make the thumbnail.
So I would say teach kids the truth and show them the actual phylogenetic trees
I
that
agree.
have been prepared.
Okay. The real phylogenetic tree would say
That's
there
a
are probably
cartoon. That's a cartoon you're showing there so that people
Okay.
can easily understand it.
there are about 20 different kinds of whales. I think we might be able to trace them back to a common ancestor called a whale. Why would you have a line from a whale over to a turtle and, let's see, a kangaroo and a ladybug?
Well,
Hey, you want to see a Baptist preacher turn into a felon? Just look at Hovind's 2007 court case.
we know the fossil. We know the fossil ancestors of whales were more land-dwelling and possibly freshwater dwelling, like Pakicetus.
Yes, killed it.
And we know
minimize again.
genetically that
There we go. If I just hit spacebar, it'll stop. Yeah, and my good old Ruger P85 is in tip-top shape.
the whales are related most closely to the hippo.
One at a time
And-
now. You don't know any such thing. You believe that. You
Yes, we do, Hovind.
teach
Well,
that. You've been taught that. You don't
no,
know
I
that
mean,
Define how things are related. Apply that criteria to the genomes of varying creatures. You can now see how closely related these varying creatures are. Done.
they've
whales
done
related to
genetic
hippo.
studies. They've done the
Okay.
genetic studies on it.
Well,
Are you
here's where you're missing
discounting
the
that?
whole boat. Let's say a whale and a hippo have 92% similarity in their genetic structure. In your mind, that's proof they're related. In my mind, that's proof they got the same designer. God
That's
wrote the
one
code.
piece of evidence. That's one piece of
Okay.
evidence.
But
That
see,
they're
you
related.
guys get a whole bunch of
Closely
these
related.
faulty pieces of evidence and think you've got a case when you every piece of evidence
Every accusation's a projection, Hovind. It's an admission.
falls apart under inspection. You don't know that a
Well,
whale and a hippo are related.
I mean,
Maybe they both have.
I
so hang on.
called about the the trilobites with the sandal prints and also the Paluxy tracks that
Oh, yeah, I've been there.
creationists put forward.
Quite a few human and dinosaur footprints. But listen, we don't.
They're not
nobody's
human
ever-
footprints though. They're metatarsal dinosaur prints where
I-
the only surviving part of the print is it might look like a footprint, but there's other features in that same formation that show that they're not.
Jeff C says, should I tell Hovind that I have an affinity for pine trees? We're both cold, tolerant, and prickly. Me too. No belief required, Kent, exactly. Are they faulty pieces of evidence, Kent? The question that must be asked of him. No code, dickhead.
Human
Okay.
footprints. They're not even shaped like footprints. So,
Well, listen.
ICR and AIG don't accept those lines of evidence.
Well, that's a good thing. I don't work.
Yeah, that's the greatest thing of all when other creationists reject stuff that Hovind accepts, like the ecostones. It really tells you what you need to know.
For them, because I do. I've been there. I've seen them. They're legitimate, and I appreciate your zeal to defend your.
I'm pretty sure Gracious Crybaby's been there too, as has Aaron Ra and a lot of other people.
Religion, there's no question. It's like arguing with a Muslim. They have great zeal to defend their religion, okay? Doesn't mean they're right. They're just zealous.
You know, I've seen a lot more moderate Muslims than I've seen moderate Christians at this stage.
That's all. And you are. We don't need to find human and dinosaur
I
footprints
put together
together.
a pretty good argument, though, you have to admit.
Yeah. Well, what if some dinosaurs are still alive? Would that
Yeah, they're called birds.
doesn't matter if you find the footprints. Did you know?
Well, they are. They're called avian dinosaurs.
God damn it! I did not plan this. Oh, whenever you finally get around to watching this, Krishna's Crybaby, I did not plan to be jumping right in front of everything you say. Oh man.
Birds. Here we
They
go.
are alive.
You're a bird brain if you believe that. Okay. But
But
listen,
if you're talking about like large dinosaurs, we have no
You know, if you put the criteria for what makes a dinosaur, it applies to birds. Just saying.
evidence that they still exist on the planet. I mean,
I
you know,
think
you
there's
point
plenty.
to Mokele and Bembe or in the Congo, and you know that's just folklore. There's no evidence that that's an actual organism. It's just somebody made up a mythological creature, like every culture has made up mythological creatures.
This is folklore right here. Okay. There's no evidence of any animal ever producing babies other than their kind. Why do we have lines drawn between humans and all the different animals connecting them? There's no evidence for that. Every doctor in the world will tell you humans have baby humans. Our guineas just had some chicks hatch out. Guess what? I took a picture. They're guineas.
Yeah, Kent is really going downhill. I would consider what I do elder abuse if it wasn't for the fact that he's a total piece of shit.
No, that's cool.
Yeah,
I mean, we have a couple lines of evidence. We have a couple lines of evidence there, Kent. We have what's called the molecular clock. And so that they can do genetic studies on organisms that currently live. And based on that, they can find similarities and they can find a line in history where those two species intersect and come up with a time period.
All right, everyone, good news. Update on Ozzy. Looks like we can get Ozzy vaxxed and chipped for about 150 and get him in first of the week and get that knocked out. So if we can, we're running very tight everything. We spent a good chunk today to finish up the move stuff and even to get some storage unit payoffs happening and all that jazz. So if anyone happens to be able to toss a good chunk to Seth's Cash App, that would be the best way. We'll be able to get Ozzy vaxxed and get him boarded. So that's going to mean one big concern off while we move forward with things. So if you can, let's do that.
And it's amazing how close that time period matches the fossil record in radiometric dating. It's really close match.
Now we got 4 different subjects on the table here, okay?
Okay, we'll talk about whatever you want to talk about. Go ahead.
Well, the radiometric dating, I think, is easily, it's obvious, it's based on several assumptions, which I've gone over 100 times here. If you wish to believe in that, that's true. What about all the evidences I gave that the Earth cannot be billions of years old? The moon is leaving. The Earth is slowing down. The oceans are getting saltier.
Good to see you, Big Bad Mama, as always. You know, honestly, I wish we'd had more time to hang out through the ARC protests, but the heat killed everything. Once the event actually happened, we were all just like, make it happen.
The mountains are eroding into the sea. The deltas of the biggest delta in the world, at the rate the river's bringing mud out, could have formed in less than 5,000 years. Why isn't the ocean full of mud? Why isn't Niagara Falls eroded clear back to the Atlantic Ocean by now? I go through all this on video number 1. Why don't you guys address that? I know
you and I have talked about each. You and I have talked about each of those topics in some detail.
Hey, Kodiak, glad you're catching up.
In the past,
you have your own YouTube channel?
Yes. Well,
good.
Joseph knows about it, so you can ask Joseph about it. But I've posted those on my channel, our discussions. But thanks for the discussion today, and I appreciate your time.
All right, thank you, appreciate it.
And
right.
Joseph,
anybody else there, Joseph?
Raw Matt, what a bitch-made dude he is. Imagine if we showed kids all the phylogenetic trees. They literally all contradict one another. No, there's those are examples of the process. Nah, Another thing with these idiots is thinking every single document is not exemplary but explicit. It has to be scientifically accurate. If you look at the known phylogenetic master list of things, if one could be said to exist, the only way to depict it is effectively a circle. That's how much is happening with it. I'll see if I can pull that up sometime.
Not in the studio.
Okay, questions?
Yeah, we got questions.
Raw Matt, imagine if we showed kids all the phylogenetic trees, they literally all contradict one another. Ha ha ha. True. You want to arrange them by how they're found as a fossil? Look, I've said it 1,000 times.
It's multi-nested hierarchies, Kent. Primarily morphology nested with genetics for existing species, then other processes, fossil layer, location, etc., are how we handle the, with morphology is how we handle the predecessor species.
No fossil would count as evidence for evolution. When you find a fossil trilobite, all you could really prove is it died. You cannot prove this one had any kids at all. You certainly couldn't prove it had different kids. No animal today can produce kids other than their own kind. Why do you think a fossil from the dirt could do it? They want to give magical powers to something they don't have no evidence that this one had any kids that lived or that were different. We don't see any animal today producing offspring other than their same kind. So if you wish to believe that, you can believe what you want, but quit calling it science. It's a religion. It's hot with these head.
You're dumb as hell, Kent. Anyway, and something everyone will like, Ozzy! There's the boy. There he is right there. He's the goodish boy. He kind of likes me. Sometimes he's a little iffy, but me and him are figuring him out. I'm trying to avoid, making him think, hey, who's this guy? He coming at me the wrong way. Hold my hand the right way. He's like, oh, your friend. But he took to me nice, which is great. But, he's a cool guy. Cool guy, cool dog. The dog's human. The dog is more human than Kent. So, yeah. If you want to, if you're able to support us getting Ozzy chipped, vaxxed so that he can properly be boarded for the time while we work on building up the money to get a place picked out, please do help.
Nobody on the there. Okay, a couple of more. The Bible talks about putting children through the fire, sacrifice to Molech. Is this connected with Planned Parenthood and abortion? I think so.
I wish I had Prince Watercress in the chat. He had Moloch jokes for days. I'm Moloch. I eat babies. Ah.
So, I think abortion is absolutely evil. I think it's wrong. I think it's murder, plain and simple. Now, I've one debating with somebody a long time ago. I said, do you think a woman should have abortion rights right up until the day it's born? Oh, yeah. So she should be allowed to abort her baby 5 minutes before it's born. Oh, yeah. What about 5 minutes after it's born? What changed? The trip down the birth canal is going to...
Blah, blah, blah. Hey, Kent, it's not even a person until it's born, according to your religion. So shut up with all this grandizing about, oh, life is sacred. One, you don't give a fuck about life. You're just pro-birth. And then fuck whatever else happens. That's a personal problem. And two, your own religion doesn't even say what you think it says. So fuck off.
Is it okay to abort it 5 months after it's born? How about 18 years after it's born? I bet kids would behave a lot better. Mom or dad could say, son, one more time, I'm going to abort you. Huh? Why not? Why don't we abort the father once in a while? Or abort the mother and adopt out the baby? Or let's abort the doctor who's doing the surgery. Yeah. The whole thing is insane when you stop and think, yes, it very much goes back to the sacrificing your children to the god Molech and all that kind of stuff. Baal worship. I think it's evil. Okay, let's see. I've heard of people talking about using glands to self-heal, having to be friends with cats to detect evil. I have heard of some of this stuff also. I don't know how to prove it or disprove it, but there are certainly some animal instincts that are pretty amazing.
That's why you never bring my cats around Hovind. All they would do is hiss and try to destroy the Hovind, for they know he is evil. I need to remind you, Kent, that my 2 new cats are black cats. That's not incidental. I, I had to have these 2. They had to be saved by me. I needed black cats. They just they accessorize so well with everything. I don't know where I'm going, but seriously, owning black cats is fucking awesome.
Things that, like detecting earthquakes. What's the animal that they can tell an earthquake coming and they'll? Which one?
It's called a seismologist, Kent.
Elephants. Yeah. That's a cool study. You go for it. I got all I can handle with what I'm doing now. Don't have time to start anything else.
What about the self-healing part of that?
Self-healing. I think God gave the body the ability to heal just about
No, deviant. I'm just referring to Alucard, Ex Duena, and Cormier.
everything if you give it the right tools. Like for years, sailors died of scurvy. The British Navy lost 1 million sailors who died of scurvy in, I think, 1700s. They found out, too late for those million, that it was
Kent's talking about losing semen.
the lack of vitamin C, ascorbic acid, because they couldn't keep fruit fresh out at sea for months. So they started bringing limes on board because they will keep longer, and they called them the limeys. They still didn't know it was vitamin C, but they knew the lime stopped you getting scurvy. I think many, maybe most, maybe even all diseases can be prevented or cured with a vitamin or mineral.
Yeah, I mean, I swear I shared a picture or something in Discord, and I mentioned that Cormier and Alucard are black cats.
Of some kind. Your body needs the tools to work with. You give it the tools, it can fix itself usually. God said to Adam in the garden, eat the fruit, the vegetables, and the seeds. That's one big component we're missing. Go to Patrick Urish.
Oh, here he goes again. Do not follow medical advice from cunt Hovind.
Can you put up his website?
I'll put it in.
Patrick Urish, Yurish, Urish.ihp, something.
Later, Zoomy.
He's up in Penn. He's one of our board members. He's a genius on health and nutrition. He took over Bill Sardi's ministry. Bill Sardi was a friend of mine for 20 years. He was a board member for years here. So go to Patrick Urish. Any questions on health or nutrition, he probably would have the answer. It certainly can't hurt to try vitamins and minerals to fix a problem, can it? Hello? Worth a try. I mean, if your engine is knocking and you take it to the mechanic and he says, wow, you got a problem here. Here, put these headphones on. You won't hear it. Excuse me. I don't want to fix the noise. I want to fix the cause of the noise.
I want to fix the cause of Hovind being stupid. Him existing. I mean, I really don't. You know, I want him to be smarter. I would love for Hovind to just one day be like, yeah, it's all bullshit. I'm sorry. I've been lying to people my entire life. What a waste it was. But it'll never happen.
Doc, I got a headache. Here, take this aspirin. What'll it do? It'll take away the headache. Yeah, but what's causing the headache? We don't know, but we can stop the noise.
You go to professionals about professional problems, Kent, and you don't get that kind of treatment. Or you get the kind of treatment you're supposed to have.
A little skeptical of the route modern medicine has taken with all, have a pain, take a pill. I think God gave the body the ability to naturally heal just about everything.
Yes, by, as you say, by eating various things, eating seeds and the like. What if this pill contained the chemicals that you think are promoting things in this seed? There you go. Welcome to pharmaceuticals.
Okay. Thank you. Questions? The honey-do list are what kept man in the Stone Age. Woman never gave us any time to make the right tools.
Misogyny. Fuck you, Jeremiah Godden.
We just kept...
And of course, Hovind would have a little mini gutbuster laugh with that one, you fucking prick.
Using a club and a rock for thousands of years. Could be. Honey-do list. Mr. Hovind, you saved me recently. I want to say thank you. I can't wait to learn more from you. Greg, well, thank you, Greg. I don't save you. Jesus saves you. I just point the way. He's the guy, okay? Go see the Lord. And the Bible is absolutely 100% accurate in every detail.
Yeah, everyone has been a friend of Kent's for 20 years.
Made the world in 6 days, about 6,000 years ago. Dinosaurs were just big lizards that lived with Adam and Eve. They did not turn into birds. Again, if you wish to believe that, believe what you want, but don't call that science. That's ridiculous, okay? Love your program. I'm an Adventist now. Well, you need to keep reading. You can be a Baptist, okay? My question is about the Sabbath. Should we keep...
Well, I mean, Dio was great, but it was at its purest when it was Ozzy.
Keep the Sabbath. Hey, well, I've got slides on that one. On this, let's see. Isn't it here?
And yes, to you, exactly. Literally everything is chemicals. I hate that argument. It's fucking stupid. Just 100%.
Seminar part 7, questions and answers. I thought it was on. Oh, I'm in the wrong one. Okay, hang on. Let me, 1 second. Joseph, I think I got 60-some thousand slides.
No
now.
one fucking cares. Anyway, how's my audience doing while
You can get all
Hovind's-
the thumb drive with all my slides.
How's my audience doing while Hovind's a fuckwit? Oh my god, the desktop icons are showing. Look at all that fucking, those random fucking Word documents, and oh man, I'm gonna have to study this.
For 50 or what, $100.
And then it
Oh,
crashed.
8x5.
Nice.
There we go.
Oh, there goes loading. I'm gonna have to study what that particular thing said, because or those particular folders and stuff were.
Adventist. Here's my take on the Sabbath. Okay, I want the truth. Whoever's got it, I'll take it. Let me get up here to Sabbath. No, that's not it. Seminar part 7. Oh, clear down here, number 10. Alt DV. 1 second. Is it on this one? Yes, here we go. Usually it's the first and second slide, but I moved it when I did the thing on the Legacy Bible, which is terrible. Okay, my humble, totally correct opinion. But with these hyperlinks, you can just touch Sabbath right here, and it takes you to Sabbath, which happens to be slide number.
Wow. Kent Hovind just explained the concept of a hyperlink. Wow, Kent. Wow.
Who cares? 1126. Alt DV, slide number 10. Now I got to go back and do all this again. It's a good thing I never complained, Joseph. Man, what about the Sabbath? Okay, Sabbath, the seventh day of the week, observed from Friday evening to Saturday evening as a day of rest and worship by Jews and some Christians. The Sabbath, from the Hebrew word Shabbat, okay? All of the days of the week are named after pagan gods.
Oh, as a random aside, since he brought up Hebrew, and if you followed me at all, you know my care for the event known as the Holocaust, or in the Hebrew, the Shoah. While we were looking through my storage unit, one of the things that I came across and happened to show Seth was my VHS copy of the Shoah film documentary collection, just testimonies of Holocaust survivors. Just made me think about that, and he got to see a little piece of, it was a Goodwill thrifting find, but it was one of those I must buy this kind of things. So he's seen a small slice of that. Just thought that'd be cool to point out.
Monday is Moon Day, so the Mars, ancient Rome, the third day of the week was named for Mars, the god of war. It's the Vikings' fault. Let's see.
Also, I just got word from Seth via the Discord that Deviant just tossed $51 into the GoFundMe. Thank you so very much to our wonderful, wonderful friend in Sweden. That will arrive probably in a couple of days, because we got things worked out last week with GoFundMe. So the money funnels to me, and then we'll be able to use it where we need it. So thank you.
Let's look up the names of the days of our week. It doesn't matter. Same with the names of the months, some of them. The heavens were finished, and on the seventh day, God ended his work. This is Genesis chapter 2. God blessed the seventh day and sanctified it, because from it he rested from all his work which God created and made. Two different words, created and made. Created from nothing. Made is take the existing material and reform it. Here's things to consider. God rested on the seventh day because he was done. I was out mowing the grass one Sunday afternoon in our church in Illinois. The guy stopped his car, walked over. I shut the tractor off. He said, "I'll never come to your church." I said, "Why not?" He said, "You're working on the Sabbath." I said, "Well, sir, first of all, yesterday was the Sabbath, maybe, if Saturday's the right day. Today's Sunday. And God rested on the seventh because he was done. I ain't done yet. When I'm done, I'm going to go take a break, okay?" Anyway, 2,600 years after God rested on the seventh day, he gave the Ten Commandments and said, "Remember the Sabbath day to keep it holy." These are the children of Israel coming out of slavery in Egypt, where they never got a day off. God told Moses to command the children of Israel to honor the Sabbath. Here's some people that try to or claim they keep the Sabbath. There are some Seventh-day Baptists.
Yeah, that's one of the biggest things. He truly does not know how to speak without a script.
Seventh-day Adventists, Seventh-day Reform movement, okay? I've never met anybody that keeps the Sabbath. Never met anybody, and you don't either, okay? I'll show you why. These are some of those. Many people and churches today meet or worship on Saturday and think the Bible commands it. Here we go. Moon Day, Sunday, worship the sun, Thor's Day, Woden's Day, Saturn. Saturday is named after the god Saturn, okay? So I think they have pagan, it doesn't matter, but they got pagan origins, okay? We do not know if the Roman pagan calendar we currently use is the same as the original creation week. Our Tuesday could be the seventh day. Then what? Everybody's trying to rest on Saturday. Oops.
Blah, 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 Hovind.
Do we go on Eastern time or Central time or Mountain time or European time? Where exactly do you start this, okay?
Yes, Europe is all one time zone. Did you hear that, Deviant? You're in the same time zone as Spain. Yep, true facts. It's totally how it works. And what of Russia, then? Does Russia span like 11 or 12 time zones, or is it all just the one? Because part of it's in Europe. Or does it break at the Ural Mountains?
Does God require Sabbath keeping? There's got a lot of websites about this, okay? Here we have Galatians chapter 3. The law was our schoolmaster to bring us to Christ. We're no longer under a schoolmaster. The law was given to bring people to Christ, but not to keep us in Christ, okay? He said in Nehemiah chapter 9, "You came down upon Mount Sinai and made known unto them the holy Sabbath." Look at that carefully. And commanded them precepts, statutes.
Kodiak, yeah, why did he need to rest? And I was telling Seth while we were riding around today, like, why couldn't God have just poofed it all into existence in one instant? That would have been the logical thing to do, but no.
Laws by the hand of Moses. So the Sabbath was revealed to Moses 2,500 years after the creation.
Chris, yeah, he and the rest of the crew at Dinosaur Adventureland go to the Chinese buffet in Bruton. The same Chinese buffet staffed by people who he mocks regularly by making slant eye gestures and saying that they eat animals and shit.
If it was something we're supposed to keep from the beginning, why didn't he tell them that? Okay, 2,500 years later, he gave Moses the law on Mount Sinai to keep the Sabbath. So God rested the seventh day. 2,600 years later, he mentioned, it's the next mention of the Sabbath. It's not mentioned at all till Moses got it on Mount Sinai. Now, the Gentiles will keep the Sabbath with the Jews during the 1,000-year reign. Look forward to it. I'd love to have a day off. There's no evidence or scripture of anyone keeping the Sabbath for 2,500 years until it was made known to Moses. He said in Exodus 26, "The Lord hath given you the Sabbath, the sixth day, the bread of 2 days, abide ye every man in his place. Let no man go out of his place on the seventh day." Well, hold it. If you're going to be a Sabbath keeper and go to Sabbath church, you got to go out of your house. How are you going to do that? He said you got to stay in your house.
Hovind with fucking technicalities. This is the one spot where he'll get all into the nitty gritty, but he won't do it when it comes to actual science.
That's why I say I've never met anybody that keeps the Sabbath. I met people that keep a few parts of it, and they think they're spiritual, and you're not, because you don't do what they do, okay? You really keep the Sabbath, you could not go out of your house, okay? They went a Sabbath day's journey. Remember the Sabbath.
Hey, Kent, there's some Jewish people out there who hold pretty strict to keeping the Sabbath. You may want to learn a lesson from them. They know what they're doing.
In it thou shalt not do any work. Watch this. Thou, nor thy son, thy daughter, thy manservant, thy maidservant, the cattle, the stranger. You can't make anybody else work. Well, that means you couldn't use any utilities because you're making somebody work downtown at the power company or the gas company or the water company. Not only can you not work, you can't go out of your house and you can't make anybody else work.
A lot of stuff is automated, Kent.
Don't use any utilities, okay? So that's going to, I think, cramp their style a little bit. He rested the seventh, and the Lord blessed the Sabbath day and hallowed it. Everyone that defiles the Sabbath shall be put to death. Ooh, are they doing that? You really want to keep the Sabbath? You got to kill everybody who doesn't. Okay, break it.
We'll start with you, Kent.
The Sabbath was a death penalty. You shall kindle no fire on the Sabbath day. Well, you couldn't cook, couldn't have hot water, couldn't have a furnace, couldn't have any internal combustion engines. Turn the key, start the car, You're kindling a fire. That's why I say I've never met anybody that keeps it. Okay, nobody.
Well, you obviously don't hang around particular Jewish communities, Kent.
Don't start any internal combustion engine or gas heater. Children of Israel, Moses said, God
Children of Israel. What the hell was that?
said, speak to the children of Israel. It's a sign between me and you. He gave a sign to the Jews of circumcision. He gave a sign of keeping the Sabbath. He said they're a peculiar people, and I can verify that.
Fuck you, you anti-Semitic piece of shit.
And they are. Okay. The Sabbath was for the children of Israel. Children of Israel. Verily my Sabbaths ye shall keep. It's a sign between me and you. Exodus 31. I'm Norwegian. Children of Israel shall keep the Sabbath.
Boy, you sure love to bring up your ancestry, Kent.
Exodus 30.
I thought you couldn't change kinds. So you're always Norwegian. You're not American, right? You're just Norwegian? Is that what you're trying to say?
31. It's a sign between me and the children of Israel forever. The Sabbath was for the children of Israel. Okay. He said, speak to the elders of Israel. I gave them my Sabbaths to be a sign between me and them, that they might know that I'm the Lord and sanctify them and hallow my Sabbaths. They shall be a sign between me and you. I don't think it could be any more clear.
This sucks. Get a better story to obsess over, Kent.
Okay. Now, if you
Might I recommend The Cat in the Hat by Dr. Seuss? Dr. Seuss. I can't speak today. I got a case of the Mike Tyson.
want to pretend to keep it, pretend all you want, but don't claim you're spiritual, and I'm not, because, you know. Okay, secondly, it was for the children of Israel, number 11, okay? Jesus went out on the Sabbath day through the corn. Well, what's he doing out of his house? And what's he doing working on the Sabbath?
This man just judging what Jesus did. It's Hovind judging what Jesus did. Just want to make sure. I need to remind you, Kent, that technically speaking, Jesus was a Jew. To one degree or another, in a broad sense. I was to say technically speaking, but Jesus wasn't a Christian. He kind of came after the fact. You can't be a religion of following yourself. I mean, I guess you can, but that's just not how it works. He was kind of a transitional character to a new variation of the same theology. But perhaps I've said too much.
Apparently, he understood better than we do. Okay? Why do you that on the Sabbath, which is not lawful? Okay? What's he doing out of his house and working? The Sabbath was made for man, not man for the Sabbath. Mark 33. Is it lawful?
Oh, okay. Well, I don't know European time zones as well as I thought I did, obviously.
Lawful to do good on the Sabbath day, to save life, to kill? Anyway, read Mark chapter 3 and Mark chapter 2, 23. He went outside on the hill. There's no mention of the Sabbath for 4,500 years. There's no mention of it being a day of worship. It was a day of rest, okay? Not a day of worship. The only mention...
Yes, Norway needs to take him back. Kent would not be able to handle all the metal bands. The black metal would terrify him.
of Sabbath being a day of worship is when we celebrate it with the
I know, let's all visit DAL and corpse paint. That'd be great.
Jews and everybody, all of the Christians in the millennium. Okay? It shall come to pass, from one Sabbath to another, ye shall all flesh shall worship before me, saith the Lord. Isaiah. Likewise, the people of the land shall worship at the door of the gate before the Lord in the Sabbaths and in the new moons. He spoke in a certain day, God did rest the seventh day from all his work. So let's see. If there's one commandment, he gave in Romans chapter 10, love one another. Let's see, thou shalt not commit adultery, thou shalt not kill, thou shalt not steal, thou shalt not bear false witness, thou shalt not covet. Where's the Sabbath? He left that one out, didn't he? If there be any other commandment, it's briefly commanded in this, love thy neighbor as thyself. He only listed 5. Oh, strange. What good thing shall I do to have eternal life? The rich man said, rich young ruler. If you want to enter into life, keep the commandments. He said, which ones? Jesus said, do no murder, don't commit adultery, don't steal, don't bear false witness, honor thy father and mother, love thy neighbor as thyself. What happened to the Sabbath? Young man said, oh.
It was inconvenient for the people who wrote the Judaism 2.0 expansion pack, so they just left it out.
All these have I kept. I doubt
They
that.
didn't realize it'd create a continuity error in the plot.
Let's assume he did, okay? Jesus said, okay, give away all your money. I ain't going to do that. Here we have John chapter 20, after the crucifixion. The same day at evening, being the first day of the week, when the doors were shut, the disciples were
Why don't we just send Kent to Belgium?
assembled for fear of the Jews. So the disciples began meeting on the first day of the week. On the first day of the week, the disciples came together to break bread. And Paul preached unto them his long speech, okay? On the first day of the week, you bring your tithe, your offering to the Lord. Lay up in store as God has prospered you, 1 Corinthians.
Oh my God, this fucking sucks.
The first day of the week. 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 The church began meeting on the first day of the week to commemorate the resurrection. It has nothing to do with the Sabbath. It's to commemorate the resurrection. Hey, Jesus rose from the dead on the first day. Let's get together and have, break bread. On the first day of the week, lay by in store what God prospered you. So the New Testament church met on Sunday to remember the resurrection. It has nothing to do with the Sabbath. But let no man judge you in meat or drink or...
Justin, the answer is yes. Must have the happy ending.
or Sabbath days, Colossians 2. And I know people all the time. We had some here, Joseph, that used to work here.
Yep.
They wanted to have Saturdays their day off. Why? Well, I try to keep the Sabbath. No, you don't. You go out of your house, you start your car, you use hot water. Anyway, pretend. Centurion of the Cornelius, the centurion of the Italian band. Let's see. And Peter spake all these words. The Holy Ghost fell on them, the Italians, and the Holy Ghost, let's see, God gift. So, amen, forbid.
The fuck are we talking about Italians now? Whatever.
Water, let's see, Acts 10. He commanded them to be baptized. And those people who had been circumcised, the Jews, they said, "Why?"
Kodiak, you're lucky if you get one good call in on a Hovind show at this stage. There was a period, a few months, where right after Sandra left, that he didn't take any call-ins.
Why did you baptize these uncircumcised people? Like that means it makes a difference. What a stupid thing to
He wouldn't last a day in Memphis.
fight over. What was God that I could withstand? God granted to the Gentiles
3 more minutes.
repentance, except to be circumcised.
Here, I will save us the torture. I will turn the Hovind to double speed. Everyone get ready. His garbage is going to come at you faster.
After the law of Moses, you cannot be saved, which is baloney, not true. So they told them, Paul and Barnabas had a fight argument about this, and they said, Paul and Barnabas and certain others go to Jerusalem with the apostles and elders about the question. Acts 15. So they went to talk to the leaders of the church. Okay, what do we do about this? What are these new?
Oh God, I accidentally jumped at. No. Okay.
Their zeal, but it's wrong in that one, at least that one area. Okay, Joseph, it's a long time. It's time to quit.
Whatever. Fuck this shit. Hovind fucking sucks. It actually makes it funnier when you put it at high speed and realize he's talking at double speed, and it still takes 4 fucking ever. Even those 10 seconds we got were just 20 too many. So anyway, there we go. That's Hovind. Non-Christian country. Yeah. Send him to Saudi Arabia, see what happens. Send him to UAE. Send him to North Sudan. Or Sudan. Versus South Sudan. Stephen Boland with a comment about the Sabbath. Oh, probably. 1.75 is more listenable. Well, the whole idea is that we don't have to listen to Hovind. But anyway, yeah, that's the end of that. Hovind fucking sucks. I'm tired of this shit. I may actually cut back on the regular Hovind content, especially with Seth being here. Because I feel like even just now, the priority chain is going to be a little different, and I'm going to want to hang out with my buddy. So, I might actually go, do stuff. I don't know. I'm just going to see what happens. That's that, though. Again, if you can hit the GoFundMe or Cash App or any other kind of method of donating to help with. Sorry, I had a yawn there. Help with getting Ozzy set up for his little vacation adventure for a moment. That would be awesome. If you can't help now, definitely help in the future. That being said, I'm going to hit up some Guild Wars and then go and pass out. Been a long day. I know Seth and Ozzy are about to do the same. So, as always, much love, and I will catch